Hello, my friends. Who've we got? Ismo and Karen. Now, who could have predicted that? Ismo, I am first. Of course you are, my friend. And Karen, not far behind. Karen will be delayed. She's flying today. How am I? I'm not looking too bright there. Hold on. That was flaring in and out because if I can show you the hold on, didn't take my click. Didn't. Okay. There's one thing. Look, let's get this part out of the way. Whoa. There's my girl. Hey, Tina. Uncle Ismo's watching. Ismo. And Karen. Yeah. Hey. There's my girl. But if we look at the sky, folks. If we look at that sky, we are told we have a 90% chance of rain in the next hour, which is nice. When you consider that until an hour or two ago, there was a 30% chance of next to no rain. But if you've watched me in the past, and you've seen any of my videos about weather forecasts, oh, look at that flaring in and out still. We can't get enough light. We need more light on the subject. Come on, God. I don't know, folks. Maybe we need to speak to the spaghetti monster in the sky. Let me shuffle around a little bit so I'm kind of facing... Oh! I hit a grass bank. Hold on. I'm trying to maximize the amount of light even though it's a big cloud over there, and I did just... Oh, this is going to give me a bad back. Do you remember last week's episode? I was in agony afterwards. I cricked my back during the show and I didn't know why, and it must just be like sitting crooked trying to balance on uneven ground. Where shall we start today, folks? Where do we start today? Let's do the basics. This is TrampCast, episode 21, from the channel Delta Mike, that's me, Down and Out, a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, in Torrevieja, a city on the southeast coast of Spain, Costa Blanca South. I don't think there's anything more to say there. That's where you're at. This is the channel. I am Delta Mike. My girl over there, who I've already introduced you to, there's my Tina. There's the tent, that's my house, that's where I live, my home. It's developed a few big rips in the last couple of days, much bigger than I had previously. We'll maybe come back to that. It's one of the themes for the week. But also, I'm jumping ahead of myself, aren't I, with themes for the week. I will just mention a couple though now, because I already started. PayPal donations and the difficulties and the vagaries of dealing with PayPal. Received a couple of donations, but yesterday I had to refund a larger donation, for which I totally apologise to the lady and gent involved, messing them about, and as I now understand, they lost a little bit on currency conversions two ways. But it was my only way forward. I had no other realistic way of progressing. When they've made the donation, and there will be a PayPal donation in the, it's in the description of almost all of my videos. Usually on these TrampCasts, it gets added afterwards rather than before. So pop back another time or check the description of any of my other videos and you'll find a link to make a donation via PayPal. But unfortunately, when they've made the donation, they've missed the option for kind of friends or family. And so it's gone through as a business transaction, which means I have to provide like a shipping docket, a shipping number. There's nothing to ship. And when I'm in the app, the PayPal app, I'm English. My Spanish is all right for reading usually, but I wouldn't want to be relying on it in financial situations with other people's money or in legal situations. But when I get my apps in English, are we back? Let me just recap. PayPal app in English because I'm English. And I click through on a few levels through trying to solve a problem, and suddenly the explicit options for what to do next, all the text in Spanish, and I'm dealing with money, other people's money. And one wrong click could freeze that money for 30 days, 60 days. Might freeze it kind of indefinitely. But in the end, I just clicked to refund, thinking that it would be as if the transaction never happened, they'd get their money back. But apparently it gets converted from pounds sterling into Spanish, into euros, then it gets converted back from euros to pounds sterling on the refund, and depending on which way the exchange rates go and how much is taken by the middlemen, the people lose a little bit in the wash. It's not my doing. I have no real say over it, folks. If you do want to make a donation, watch out for that option as to whether this is for a purchase of a business transaction, a purchase of an item or a service, or whether it's for friends or family. You know, you're making a donation to somebody. You don't want fees taking out. You don't want hold-ups and delays. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It's been an ongoing thing all week. The original donation was made over a week ago, and I couldn't see a way forward with it. I pushed the button to make a refund, and now I find that they've lost a little bit in the. Oh, Tina, no. Oh, gotta get the dog. Tina girl. Oh, hey, Tina girl. Talking to the peoples. You'll have to come and stand with me now after that. Sorry about that, folks. Dogs. Mine was meant to be eating her. She was meant to be eating her food and having a drink of water. People walk past with 3 dogs on the loose. One tries to come into the camp. Tina wants to say hello and defend the camp. Where am I sat now? I'm too far away here, aren't I? I'm either too far away or I haven't got the angle right on the camera. Sorry, I need the glasses if I'm going to read these notes. I'm old. Okay, folks, shall we get going? Episode 21 of TrampCast. As we do, we start with a few facts about the number of the episode. So this week, 21. So number 21. The last time I said this was for episode 15. Triangular numbers. You know, like the balls in a snooker rack or a pool rack, where you've got 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 15. And when you add 6, you get. Come on, I'm not the only maths genius around here. 21. It's a triangular number. By extension, if you're going to add the numbers 1 to 6, you're looking at a die, or a dice if you don't understand language. Die is the singular, dice is plural, although in England, I don't know about other countries, but in England we do tend to call that one 6-sided cube that you roll, we do call it a dice. but that's just because we don't understand language properly. So that adds up to 21 as well, because the three opposing sides, three opposing sides all add up to 7. 1 opposite 6, 2 opposite 5, 3 opposite 4, 21. What else we got? Fibonacci. I haven't mentioned Fibonacci numbers in previous TrampCasts. Always nice to mention Fibonacci. This is a sequence of numbers. If you start with a 1 and a 1, and your next number is the last 2 added together. So 1 and 1 gives you 2. Then 2 and 1 gives you 3. 2 and 3 gives you 5. 5 and 3 gives you 8. 8 and 5, 13. And 13 and 8 gives you 21. It's a Fibonacci number. Oh, we're almost collapsing the table too. So folks, today the camera may be more unstable than normal because I normally do this with my, as I call it, my cauldron, my big pan upside down. But my big pan is full of food because I did a cookery video yesterday. Haven't released it yet. Stand by for that. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after if I get lazy or hit a snag. I'm not the world's best video editor. I'm not the world's best cook. I'm not the world's best live streamer. Don't think I'm the world's best at anything. But anyway, here we go. Where are we? Where are we? Number 21. It's the atomic number of an element called scandium. And I will admit this to you right now. I was today years old when I first heard of scandium. And I think I used to be able to do the whole periodic table thing. And I have no recollection of a scandium. Somebody out there been rewriting history. I got no idea. I have never ever in my life heard of scandium until today. Apparently, it was discovered. I was going to say invented, but that's the wrong word. You don't invent things that already exist. You discover them. It was discovered through spectral analysis of rocks, of ores that came from Scandinavia. Hence the name scandium. Interesting topic. Scandinavia. It's kind of no such place, or at least, I'm going to offend half my audience. Depending on how you look at it, there's either no definition of Scandinavia, or there are like many different definitions. Because when I was a kid, Finland was in Scandinavia. It was them 4 countries up there. Norway, Sweden, Finland and Denmark. And now apparently it's not. It includes Iceland, but it doesn't include half of those others. And to some people it does, and to others it doesn't. And I don't know. It got changed. I learnt things, and then history changed, and now that's not true. The Brits out there, how many of you know the plural of roof? And how many of you are going to say right now that it's roofs with a V-E-S on the end? Because we were all taught that. And it absolutely is not. The word roofs doesn't exist. See, I'm missing these comments. Look at this, it didn't pop these up for me. Hello, Lost from Australia. Ismo's in the middle of Finland. He's normally been further north, but he's back in the middle at the minute. Tom's in Shetland. That's not exactly south, is it, Tom? Okay, folks, onwards. Where was I? Oh, I was just espousing my views on Scandinavia, was I? Oh, and roofs. Roofs with an FS. Who knew? A whole generation of Brits, apparently. There's research done on this. Nobody knows where it came from or why we all believe it. But we were all taught that words ending with an F or an FE, like, as in knife and knives, wife and wives, we were taught that roof and roofs. No. I don't know how I get there. History changing, history being rewritten behind me. And there's a name for that, the Mandela effect, where people swear that they absolutely remember something as being so, and it turns out it was never what they remember. And I was the same with that Monopoly guy. I remember him having a monocle, the guy on the Monopoly box, and he never had. There you go. Mandela effect, history changing, history being rewritten, and Scandinavia, and knife and knives. All as an aside from the number 21, folks. How does this man's mind work? Does this man's mind work? I'm not sure. I think it used to. Nowadays, possibly not so much. What have I got next for 21? Okay. Summer and winter solstices happen on the 21st of June and December, which baffled me when I moved to Spain and they do all their celebrations of midsummer, midwinter on the 23rd. I don't get it. I don't know why some countries are 21st and some are 23rd. Maybe I'll look into it. I don't. When you find something that doesn't compute, you should look into it. Find an answer, or at least signpost the fact that there's a discrepancy that you can't handle. Minnesota has a lake called Lake 21. I should look into that, really. I've got no idea why it's called Lake 21. Maybe somebody started to number them? I don't know. Just a strange fact I found. The French... Tina! Hey! I don't even think there's somebody there. Hey! Oh, there's somebody further down. Quiet. The French have a card game. 21, or just 21. I don't know. Pronunciation. It's the basis of blackjack in America and what we would call pontoon in Britain, I believe, or used to. I don't know if these are just different names for the same game or if there are slight differences in the rules, but it's a popular target in cards to get to 21. Because we have a different game called blackjack, where if you get the blackjack, you have to pick up a certain number of cards, and I don't know. Childhood memories. I haven't really played cards since childhood, I don't think. Long nights in a caravan park in summer, 7-week holidays in summer, and 2 or 3 week holidays over Christmas and Easter, playing Newmarket and pontoon and solitaire if you're just on your own, or patience. I think we just call it patience. Same game, same idea. But okay, 21. 21 gun salute. Here's one. Why 21 guns? So apparently, when ships are doing their signalling, an even number of something is a signal of death, which could be the death of somebody, like a respected person on board, but it could be a sign of like plague or stay away. It's a kind of quarantine kind of signal. So at some point, a ship would be approaching either a warship approaches a warship from another country, and he wants to signal that it's peaceful. So he fires his guns away, and the other ship knows that it takes minutes to reload the guns. And so it's a signal that if he's fired his main guns, it's a signal that he's basically unarmed or temporarily disarmed at least. It's just starting to rain, folks. I told you it was 90% chance of rain. I haven't quite worked out what we're going to do if it rains. I'm either going to sit here, if it's light, I'll sit here and get wet a little bit. If it gets heavy, we might have to rush inside the tent, and you'll get a view of mayhem as I move the camera around and we readjust for inside. That'll be fun. So 21 guns. So they fire their guns to signal peaceful intentions when they're approaching port or approaching another warship. And it's an odd number because sign of respect rather than of of plague or contamination or whatever. But why 3 volleys of 7? I don't know. No idea. I couldn't quite get that far with my research. It's just basic, you know. It's just a few random facts for the beginning of the program while we wait for other people to join us. And it's been a while now. We're at 20 minutes in, so we won't linger much longer. Here's an interesting one. Follow the science, folks. Follow the science. Science says the human soul weighs 21 grams. That's nice. How, you may ask, did they reach this conclusion? Let me just see if there's any more chat. I don't think so. How did they reach this stunning conclusion? Some scientists decided that we'll keep a person on the weight scales while he's dying, kind of thing. So we weigh him just before death. We weigh him just after death. The only thing that changed is that the soul left the body. And somehow, some way, they got a 21 gram difference. 21, the weight of the human soul. Follow the science. Am I a bit skeptical on this one, guys? What do you think? To be fair, other scientists are skeptical on this one. The study was roundly panned when they did it. It's not considered real. The human soul weighs 21 grams. The only other fact I think I've got here for 21, a guinea, which is an English measure of money, an English measure of currency. It was 21 shillings, where a shilling was £1. So it was £1, 1 shilling. And the only notable way that shillings, I think, are still used is in the price of horses. If you buy horses, you buy them in guineas rather than in pounds or dollars or whatever. Don't know if that's just the UK. I don't know if that's an international thing and exchange. I've never bought a horse. I'll admit that here. I have never bought a horse because I've never run a pet food factory. No, shush. That's not what I meant. All right. To my knowledge, I have eaten horse, actually. I have eaten horse. I was going to say, to my knowledge, I haven't eaten horse, but I do know that I have. And it was deliberate. It wasn't by accident. My paperwork's going to get wet here, folks. I'll give it another 5 minutes, and we'll see what we're going to do, because rain. Okay. I think we'll skip the getting to know you questions this week because we're 25 minutes in nearly, 23, 24 minutes in. We'll skip straight to the themes and get on with the show. And while we're here, I will thank Brendan. And if you're playing along at home, drink! Cheers, Brendan. Brendan sent me a donation via PayPal the other day. And I, if someone sends me instructions of what it is to be spent on or is not to be spent on, or to try and spend it on something, I try and follow their, I try and follow their wishes as closely as possible. Not always possible under the circumstances. If I'm down to my last 10 euros and I need something, then the money's going to go where I need it, guys. You know, I'm in a hole. Life's a mess. But if someone sends me money and says, blow this on alcohol, I obey. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Go. If I don't get inside soon, these notes are not going to be readable and there won't be a show. So, themes for the week. Weather. Oh yeah, the weather. It's been one of those weeks. And whenever weather's one of my focuses for the week, weather forecasts are an issue for the week. Because they're usually not that great. But you guys don't watch those. Nobody watches those videos where I criticize the weather forecast. I think because everyone knows that weather forecasts are crap, so they don't need me to scientifically prove it and mathematically prove it. Because I can do the maths with the the percentage chance of rain multiplied by the amount of rain, and just show that it's total hokum. These apps are just total bull. They don't even pretend to be right. You can have like 5 hours of rain and with 90% chance of a millimetre per hour, and they'll say total for the day 0.5 of a millimetre. And it's just, that doesn't, no. Multiply the 0.9 by the 0.5 and add all the other ones together similarly. That gives you your daily total, your daily expected value. Maths is not difficult. Most of it is addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Okay, weather and weather forecasts. My new neighbour. I mentioned last Sunday, in last Sunday's show, that on the Sunday morning I'd met a new guy here who was, he was gonna camp here. I don't know his long-term plans, but I helped him put up his tent this week, and we're getting on all right. Come in. Oh, he's in the distance of the dog bags. Tina, shush. Come in, darling. Come here. You could have gone and got your food if you behaved, but you didn't behave. Stop it! Stop it! Stop. Okay, weather, neighbours. Wind, part of the weather, I guess, but it's the part that's not rain. We've had 3 days of quite strong winds. The forecast, the apps, the weather apps, said 40 kilometers per hour. If that was 40 kilometers an hour, I want to know what that was in one of the other videos where the whole tent is like a jellyfish and is like being bent and buffeted and billowing, and I haven't got any other words, I haven't got the vocabulary. But the whole thing was like those parachutes that jellyfish, the old ones, billowing and buffeting, and my whole tent was doing that with one, and I almost got hit by a branch from a tree, and I was like 50 meters away from the nearest tree, but this branch came blowing past my head. What was that? If this was what they said it was, because don't get me wrong, it was bad, and we've picked up damage because the tent's been weakened previously, but it was nothing compared to this other time when they said it was 40 kilometers an hour. But we've been through the wars a bit this week, and last night my new friend pointed out some really big rips on the tent that I'd not even seen. Just under, I've got the black tarpaulin. I'll point there. So over there on the right hand side of the tent, can you see just under the lip, just under the edge of the black tarpaulin, you can see the rip. I'd not noticed that, and it actually goes all the way across from that right hand side to that seam in the middle there, the vertical seam that comes down. Yeah, there you go, you saw it just billow a little bit in the wind. My tent is picking up injuries, damage and destruction that's not from the dog. For once. Hey girl, you're supposed to be my little damage and destruction. Although she has done her share, continues to do her bit to wreck the doorway. But also we've picked up some extra damage on the doorway that's not related to her. So yeah, it's been a week. These are the themes of the week, folks. The wind, the rain, the weather forecasts. But also, on the plus side, friendships and the generosity of people. The lady and gent who tried to send me 50 euros. Okay, it hasn't worked. 55 euros. I think it was 50 pounds got converted, I think. But it hasn't worked. I've had to refund it. But the idea, the generosity in trying. And I'm sorry PayPal got in the way and it didn't work. But other people, like the guy Brendan who sent me, I'm going off memory for the name. I'm going to say Brendan, who sent me the money for the beer. Let's do another one, man. My mouth's dry, folks. I'm not just drinking for the sake of it. I'm talking. It's lubrication. So cheers. And Karen, if you're playing along at home, and Steve. Drink! I'm told it's a thing, guys. Some people, either when the guy who's doing the live stream takes a drink, they take a drink, or they listen for certain catchphrases, certain wording, and take a drink. So if you watch my cookery videos, at the beginning of each clip, I'll say, okay, folks, or almost, okay, folks, now we're doing the, okay, folks, this, okay, folks, that. It's a similar thing. It's a word card bingo, but with a drink in your hand or a glass of wine in your hand. Feel free to play along next week if you haven't already got a drink with you. Where are we? So yeah, friendship. My friend Karen, who was here, extended her stay for reasons and had to go home today. Dropped off basically what was left in her kitchen. She says, I have a little secret. I have a sneaking suspicion she went to Mercadona and bought some of the things just to bring to me. I think, don't tell her I said so. But I've got a sneaking suspicion. But it's nice when people do that. And I've actually had, in the last couple of days, another two deliveries, shall we call them? Gifts, donations, pick a word. Offerings. My friends Mark and Jeff, the suppliers of solar panels, solar batteries and charge controllers, and they came yesterday morning. I see I'm jumping ahead, you see, I should leave this but for now, let's leave it as friends, generosity. And we'll get to the individual instances as we cover the individual days. Folks, I know that some of you drop into this show. I don't like to call it a show. Some of you drop in and you've only got 10, 15, 20 minutes to spare to watch it now. It will be available afterwards, always. But upon ending the stream, YouTube make it private, and I have to click a button to make it public again. It takes a couple of minutes for me to get in and do what needs to be done. So if you do drop out for any reason and you do want to come back, it will be available. If you want to catch it with the chat replay, so I know not many of you chat, but the ones who do, if you want to watch the video and have the chat replay visible, you have to leave it well kind of tomorrow morning sometime. Takes YouTube, I'm low priority, I'm not one of their biggest, you'll see that from the number of people watching. There's not many people want to watch a tramp. I haven't got thousands of people watching for hours on end. So YouTube put me as a low priority. It takes 12, 15, 18 hours for them to process the chat and make the copies available properly. So if you want to watch it with the chat replay, then you'll have to wait until tomorrow morning. That's all I'm saying there, guys. Where are we? Themes. There's the themes finished. Friendship and generosity. And to each and every one of you that donate in any way, whether it's PayPal, whether it's in person here at the Tramp Camp, or whether it's just by sharing the video out there and telling others, telling your mates, telling your friends that you watch this amazing guy on YouTube. Yeah, I know. Nobody does that. But I appreciate you all, each and every one of you. And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, don't. Not yet. Think about it. But don't think too long. It's free. Just hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified whenever I release a new video or do a new live stream. I'm starting to think we're going to have to head inside. I'm not sure of the implications. I don't know where my light is or whether I've got the batteries charged. And I'll have to sit there holding the phone stroke camera. But I'm going to get wet and my notes are going to get wet at this rate. Shall we make a start, folks? Shall we make a proper start? 35 minutes in. Could this guy burn any more time? I'm trying to string you along and build my viewing hours on YouTube. That's one of the metrics they use. How long you watch, or how long everybody watches aggregated together. It's one of the metrics they use to decide whether to promote me to other people. Hint, hint. If you have to leave, just leave it playing for an hour in the background. I'm not allowed to tell you to do that. That wasn't me telling. I was just offering a possible, perhaps, maybe suggestion. Tina, go. Okay, folks. I think we're going to decamp inside. That's what I think's about to happen. What do you think, Tina? Are we going in? I think we're going in. Tina's going. Don't worry, guys. I'm not leaving you. I'm here with you. I just have to work out the logistics of how to get in while carrying things and bringing a dog in. You with me? Okay, we're all still together. Haven't left anything important, have I? Probably, knowing me. No, Tina, we haven't got time for that. In. In. Go on, girl. In. But don't jump up on the bed because I've got you around my arm. Steady, steady. Oh. Oh. In, in, in. Hold on. Beer can down. Okay, folks, you still there? Okay. Sorry about this. Needs must. Rain. Rain stopped play, but hopefully not. Shoes off. And on the bed. Oh! Come on, girl. Tina, girl. Come on. And where's my light, Tina? There it is. There's the light. Do we need the light yet, folks? Or can you see me? Answers in the chat. I has a light if needed. Oh! I have a light. The light's not working. Here we go. One of the batteries popped out. That's flickering. The batteries are not in properly. Or they're discharged because they were in water. I think it's this one. Okay, not in properly. Is that better or worse? Nobody's talking. Come on, guys. I need your help. Oh, I need the light. Without the light, I can't read my notes. That answers that then. You guys don't get a say. The decision is made. Light. But I've got to put... I've got no use for the... Sorry. I've got no use for the phone stand. I swear the sun was shining out there. Ah! Rechargeable batteries on the floor. I don't know. Okay, folks. Where were we? I was chatting, you weren't. Nobody's talking, or I'm not seeing any talking. The last message I see is from Laws and it says 21. Somebody type something and let me know that you're all still there. Maybe YouTube's just not showing me the messages. I get this. I sit here saying that nobody's talking to me, and then afterwards I see there's been 50 messages in the show, and I haven't seen 50. So I don't know what that is. You see that my head's against the back of the tent, even though I'm slouching. The tent comes in like this and hits me on the back of the head. Okay, last Sunday, we'll make a start. We're on 40 minutes, bar a few seconds. In fact, I'll wait for 40 minutes and then I'll begin, and then I can do a proper timestamp and do the chapters. Okay, folks, let's begin. Last Sunday, after the live stream, I had a bloody bad back. If you were here and you were watching, you'll have seen that halfway through the show, I just got a sudden pain in my back and had to wriggle, and then I had to stand up. And somehow I'd cricked my back. I'd just, I don't know. I'd just been sat funny. Maybe the ground was uneven under the chair and I was compensating to stay level. I don't know what it was, but I had a bloody horrendous backache. But for the first time in about a month, I wasn't too cold. Because I'd actually got my shirt on and my jumper by the end of the stream. I put my jumper on, I think jumper is sweater for you American and any other nation that doesn't use the word jumper for a woolen garment. Karen's telling me it won't let her message me. And yet Department of Stealth and Total Obscurity has just said, hello Mike. Hello Department of Stealth and Total Obscurity. That's a hell of a name. Is there a shorter version? Like Fred or Dave or something? I'm the same. If I message somebody in their live stream, it gives the full channel name, Delta Mike Down and Out in Torrevieja, and they just go with Delta Mike or just Mike, because that's what makes most sense. Anyway, last Sunday after we're not doing well, are we? Shall we make another go at starting? So, bad back last Sunday, and not too cold, because I'd put my clothes on already. Stitch, where's Lilo? Or Lilo? Lilo and Stitch? Don't even remember what that was, I just remember the... Okay, Stitch. I'll try and remember. I've got a bad memory though, you might have to remind me sometime. Yeah, so it was a cold night, but not too cold. And like I said, I got my jumper and I got my bad back. But I really enjoyed the stream again. I don't know, sometimes it's me. It's not you guys, it's me. Sometimes it just flows more easily and I've just looked back and feel like it went well. And I guess when the stream ends and YouTube private, they pop up on screen some statistics for me about how many different people watched and for how long and total view time. And that statistician thing in my head, that thing about numbers, I'll come to that in a minute, because I just want to clarify a point on that. But something about, I like watching the numbers being high, and it does help me feel feel better about the show, feel it went better. But a mate of mine, an online mate of mine, I've mentioned his channel in the past, Patrick Crow's Thunder, apostrophe S on Crows, Patrick Crow's Thunder, Native American, he's got a channel on, he's kind of a bit of a philosopher and a life coach, but he would hate me to summarise what he does as that. But he makes a point of saying he doesn't give a damn about the number of subscribers and the number of views and these things. And I kind of agree with him, except the metrics, it's just my brain. It's a mathematician in me wanting to see graphs go up, and it doesn't matter that much in that way, except pretty pictures and graphs. Can't explain it beyond that, guys. That's just me, you know? I am what I am. Don't think I'm going to change that. There's a mathematician, a pseudo-mathematician in here somewhere. There's aspects of that, and that's not going to go away. Not at age, whatever age this is. What am I, 55? I think I'm 55. Born at the back end of 68, so that's right, isn't it? Back end of 23, I would be 55. Yeah, that's right. Mathematician. I never remember my age. I have to work it out each time by doing a subtraction or, you know. Okay. Where are we? That's Sunday. That's Sunday. Last week. So that's about it. That was it. That was the end of the night, really. Just got into the tent and walked the dog. Got into the tent. Monday morning, coffee with my new neighbour, the guy in the tent under a tree over yonder there. And we had a little chat for a couple of hours. But what I will clarify at this point, I will talk about him as and where he kind of impacts on me. Like, oh, I had coffee with him, oh, we did this, or we did that. I'm not going to talk about him as in his story, his circumstances, how he came to be here. It's not my story to tell. It's, unless he says yes at some future point, that's not going to come up here. But there is another guy here in the field with me, and from time to time you might see him on a video, or he might just be there. But for now, other than saying, hey, I had coffee with him, hey, he did this, or hey, I did that, it's not my story to tell, and I don't have much of the details anyway, so there's that. Coffee with my new neighbour. And I made bacon and egg sandwiches for us both. We had a long chat, and then we took Tina for a walk together. And other than that, he went his way, I went mine. The day just passed because Mondays, you know, Mondays, they just come and go. So Monday night, I've got some programs I like to watch on YouTube late in the night. Americans. There's a comic artist, Ethan Van Sciver. His channel is Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I like to watch it. It doesn't start until late though, so often I'll fall asleep early and then wake up and watch him. This time I was awake and then fell asleep and missed him and the program that comes on after. Them's the breaks, that's life. Can you hear the rain? Let's see if anybody's saying anything in chat. I don't think you are. Okay. Stitch doesn't like Mondays and wants to forget how old. Playing the ukulele, okay. Dominic, hello. These messages aren't popping up. This app used to, when a new message came in, it would pop up the chat and then it fades out over time. It's taking longer to fade out. It's just not popping up. I have to go and make it show me. Oh, I don't know. The YouTube app, it's just not great. So that was Monday night, folks. Into Tuesday, and I woke up a little bit early, and that was me. Like I said, I missed these programs, but then I woke up at like 4 o'clock. How are we pronouncing that? SKSK or SKSK? Good afternoon, almost evening here. But then I live in the future compared to a lot of you. I don't know. That's what I like to say to the Americans. They'll have a show at like 6 o'clock in the evening their time, and it'll be midnight or 1 in the morning or something here. And I just tell them I live in the future and ask them if they want some lottery numbers. Stupid, I know. That's just my sense of humour. Live with it. So, woke up 4 in the morning, and that was me awake all night then. That's just how it is, isn't it, sometimes. I was checking my YouTube stats, because I'm a bit of a prissy madam like that sometimes, you know. Like I said, I want to see the numbers rising. They haven't been this week. I haven't released a single video, have I? Not a single video this week. I've gone from having the graph in the YouTube app shows the last 48 hours, and it's usually got 200 or 300 views to display hour by hour how many, and at the minute we're down to 30 something, because over 2 days, over 48 hours, not 30 something per hour, 30 something for the entire 48 hours. I'm just trying to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that shine off my glasses. You see the ring light? But no, I haven't been making new videos because it's. If I said it's been a boring week, that wouldn't be right. But it hasn't been an eventful week. There hasn't been anything major, really. Tried making a video Thursday about kind of the weather and weather forecasts. Friday night, I do have a video about Friday night that's kind of in the works, but I'm having a little bit of difficulty with a couple of parts of editing. And Saturday, I do have a video to come out from this Saturday where I did a cookery. But and surprisingly, it's a short one. If you've watched my cookery videos and you know that I have difficulty editing them down to under an hour, this time not so much. It's 20 minutes at the minute, and I'll probably trim some of that off. So yeah, there have been no videos this week, and my YouTube channel has suffered probably because of it. For anyone who's just joining late, I'll just explain what's going on here, because I know visually it's not great and you're probably going to leave if I don't tell you the circumstance. I started the program outside on the table where I usually am, but there were grey clouds overhead and it started to rain. I tried to weather it and just carry on, but it got a bit stronger. We had to come inside, so we're inside the tent. If you don't know me, Delta Mike, I'm a tramp. I'm basically just a homeless guy, you know. Live in a tent, and when the weather's bad, I have to get in the tent. It's simple as. I'm trying to make do. I'm trying to make it bright enough for you to watch, but without glaring ring lights on the screen like that. Difficult balancing act. Make it a little bit dimmer, but without the ring light, maybe. Live with it, folks. It is as it is. If you can cope, cope. If it's not for you, maybe catch you next time. Fuck off! No, don't leave. I'm joking. I do that. I joke. Sometimes. Okay, folks. Where were we? Monday night into Tuesday, weren't we? Thought one of my videos was starting to take off when I was looking at these graphs on YouTube. Ismo's there with his good evening. It'll be a while before you're here on Costa Blanca, Ismo. Is it May? April or May you're coming out? But I thought one of my videos was starting to be shown a lot, and it was a video that was a few days old. So it wasn't like there was any reason for it to... It's not like I just promoted it or just released it. So I was getting a little bit excited because in the previous 2 weeks, each week I've had a video really take off and suddenly show to 1,000 people. And I know, if you watch some of these big YouTubers, 1,000 views isn't the second week in May. Okay, mate. But 1,000 views isn't considered a lot by most people. But I'm niche. I'm a tramp. I live in a field, in a foreign country where I don't speak the language. It's not primetime viewing. They're not doing TV shows about me. Yet. Santander Bank, I'm coming for you. Then we'll be doing the primetime TV shows. Santander, fuck you. This is all their fault. All. Okay. And relax. Okay. So, my new neighbour in the evening came over with a couple of beers. What can I say here? Can I say this or not? For now, he's got a bit of money on him. He's arrived, he's only just got here and he's got a little bit of cash. Not enough to rent an apartment or anything. So I'm touching on talking about his story that's not my story to tell. But he arrived with a few beers anyway. And we sat and we chatted for a little while. And I had my little head torch and we stayed chatting while it got dark, but we could see because I had the head torch. But That head torch only gives me, well, it's not the head torch that my friend Karen bought me. It's the batteries that I've put in it, the ones that I said last week I'd received from China. They hold about 1/10 of the charge that they claim to hold. Literally 1/10. I'm having to guess a little bit because I haven't got accurate stats on use. I'm comparing how long they last in use. These little rechargeable, USB rechargeable batteries. So you connect the USB cable directly into the battery. There's no separate charger. The charging circuit is built into the battery. They're only little A3s anyway, so you lose 1/3 of the battery to the charging circuits, 1/3 of the volume or height of the battery. But they claim that these things contain more power, contain more charge than an actual chemical disposable battery. I mean, that's impossible. I knew that was impossible, but it's just what's the word? It's just the chutzpah in claiming so much. They claim that the battery holds 2 or 3 times more charge than these other ones, and really they hold, like I said, my guesstimate is about 1/10. When I use 3 disposable batteries in this head torch, I can use it as much as I need at night for 2 weeks, 14 days. Now I will minimise my usage and only have it on for 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there. So it's a little difficult to tell versus putting it on and just having it on for 2 hours. But to use it as much as you'd need for 2 or 3 weeks versus using it for 2 hours and then it just goes out. That's the other thing. The normal disposable batteries, when this light is being powered by disposable batteries, it degrades gradually over the final week. It gets weaker and weaker and weaker, but it gives you a visual signal that it's getting worse, it's deteriorating. These USB rechargeable batteries, the light works and works and works and then just turns off. There's no warning. You don't get a chance to think, oh, I must have those other batteries at the ready. I'm going to do a proper in-depth review of those batteries one day. But anyway, me and my mate are sitting and having a beer on an evening and just getting to know each other because new friends, you know. You got to do these things. Speaking of having a beer, cheers again. And if you're playing along at home, drink. Again, folks, I'm talking. A bit of lubrication for the throat. Last week it was coffee and the week before. This week not, because Brendan paid for booze and said buy booze. So thank you, Brendan, again. Okay, so here's another thing that I've been doing this week. When we did have sunny days, hoping to get my battery up to, how many lights, folks? How many lights? In the chat. First person to tell me how many lights I'm looking for on my battery charge, on the somebody's going to mention it. Somebody out there. Nobody. You're all too slow. I'll give you 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No. You lose. I'm looking for 4 lights. 4 lights. Oh, Miami Rose, you were just too late. You almost won the prize. Salutations anyway. Yeah, I was hoping to get the battery up to 4, because we'd had a couple of sunny days, and at the end of this day, it says 11 here. Well, okay, 11 likes at the minute. Are you aiming for 12? 4 lights, folks. Come on. We'd had a few sunny days, and at the end of the day, I was still on 3/4 of charge on my phone, still on 70 or 80%. Tina, no, you're not jumping off the bed, darling. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come say hello to the peoples. Come here. Can we... Whoa! Back off a little bit. You're frightening them. There's my girl, look. She was about to jump off the bed for some reason, and that usually means there's somebody outside or something happening. Where was I? Fort Lights. My ongoing Star Trek joke. Not so much a joke, is it? It's just a cultural reference. It's a meme at this point. But yeah, we'd had sunshine, and I didn't need to charge the phone overnight. Where are you? I don't know what you're doing, Tina, or why, but I think you should stop before I get angry. Okay. Yeah, so I figured if I didn't charge my phone and it was sunny the next day, we'd be able to get up to the mythical 4 lights. Still hasn't happened, folks. Mainly because we just every now and again you'll just get a day with no sun, or even worse. And we'll get to. So that was Tuesday evening into Tuesday night. The forecast for Wednesday was sunny, so this was why I was hoping to see the mythical 4 lights. Just because the forecast says it's going to be sunny, doesn't mean it will be. On this instance, I think it was this time. Yeah, like my notes here. Wednesday, nice day, but not much happening. No videos, guys. No. Now, on a tangent and not related to Wednesday, but just a little jumping off point. Guy who came to the camp today, a guy called Mark, brought a little bag of fruit for me. Oranges, bananas, and some tomatoes. About a kilogram and a half, something like that, in a bag. Which was nice. He'd been to one of the Sunday markets, the one at the Lemon Tree Market. If you know this area, Torrevieja, if you know the Lemon Tree Market, yeah, he'd been there, and he I don't know if he purposely bought these for me or if he just took a portion of what he'd bought for himself and brought them to me. But it's very nice, isn't it? Like I was saying about generosity and friendship. Never met him before, as far as I know. We've not communicated. If we have, and I haven't put 2 and 2 together, I apologise, but I don't think we have. But he came, gave me the fruit, and stood and chatted for half an hour. So yeah. But he mentioned to me that it had been the Torrevieja Carnival. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. And he said that if I wanted to build my channel, what I should have done was gone to that, filmed that, released that on YouTube. Sorry folks, something just blinked on screen. I made the mistake of playing a quiz game with someone yesterday, and now the quiz app thing won't stop pestering. Karen. So yeah, that was an idea, and whether I should maybe keep track of these events in Torrevieja and cover the more touristy side of Torrevieja to get my channel out there and be noticed by a different audience, maybe, possibly. I view the channel more as just documenting me and my struggles, but I don't know. He maybe has a point. I could get the channel in front of more people, and then, perhaps have more people help me. But at the minute, I don't even know when these events are, because I went months with no devices, no electronics, no nothing. I haven't gone, and I had to create new accounts. I haven't gone back through and signed up with like the newsletters and the newspapers that would email you and tell you the upcoming events for the week. Haven't done any of that. And because I stay in camp in winter, in summer I was going out of camp through the day and sitting under a tree in the park to get out of the sun. In winter I'm having to micromanage my solar a little bit more, move my panels around every couple of hours, follow the sun. So I haven't really been leaving camp that much. So I don't know. Tina girl, Tina, this has been a bit annoying, darling. I don't know what you're doing or why, but stop. Come here. Come here and lay down here. Lay down. Lay down, darling. All the way down. Lay down. Sorry. I know, I love you a bit. But you can't be laying across my feet and hinting at jumping down on the floor all the time. Dogs! There's two of us inside the tent on a double bed. And she's just up and down and wriggling and moving and... I don't know, guys. I don't know. Where are we? Nice day, not much happening. Wednesday. Now I'd offered to cook for my new friend. I've got... You're moving again. Come here. Can I cuddle you? Give us a cuddle. I think she's frightened. I think it's the wind. She's never liked when plastic moves on its own, or when trees, anything that moves, like in the wind. She doesn't... Can we get us both on? There we go. Look, there's a picture. Me and my girl. Me and my girl. Just got to reassure her a little bit. If ever we walked past a shop and they'd got a one of those plastic banners, those plastic adverts outside, instead of putting proper signage up, some go cheap and just go for a printed plastic wrap. And when they blow in the wind, she would be petrified. She would cower. She would go wide and almost out into the road to get away from the noise of it. Tina, settle down, sweetheart. Settle down. Settle. She's gone back to where she started, where it was annoying me. Oh, excuse me, folks. So okay, I'd offered to cook for my friend because I'd got some food. You remember Karen went shopping for me? Not went shopping for me. Took me shopping on the Friday when I got the haircut. The Friday of the week previous. So I've got this food that needs using. Bits of it need using. Not everything lasts forever. Mushrooms don't last forever, and pork doesn't last forever. So I'd got this food that needed cooking, and I offered my friend that I was going to cook a stew, and that he could have a bowl if he wanted. But I'd forgotten that some other friends who just arrived back in Spain in the last few days prior to this, they just arrived maybe 5 or 6 days earlier and just got settled. They invited me out for, invited me out to meet them on the seafront further along the, I don't know, quarter of a mile, third of a mile. No, let's do this in kilometres. Half a kilometre that way. 500, about 500, just after where I get my water when the water's on. The water I counted has been 500 metres. It's another 100 or so metres after that. So I kind of reneged on the promise of food, or at least on that specific meal that I would have had to cook in the late afternoon. I told him when I got back maybe we'd have jacket potatoes and baked onions. I was just gonna... It's my old trick of preserving gas to put a tray of charcoal in the gas barbecue and some wood. Put the gas barbecue on for 5 or 10 minutes just to get everything going, get the heat going and get the wood and the charcoal ignited. Get a little fire going, and then turn the gas either down. If I turn it down, and then after another 5 minutes turn it off entirely, and the fire that's going will cook things. And every half an hour or so you've got to top it up with a bit more wood or a bit more charcoal. But at the end of it, you've got jacket potatoes and baked onions, but you haven't used more than 15 or 20 minutes worth of gas. So we did that. I went out and met my friends. I came back, and we had jacket potatoes at the little plastic table out here, the little picnic. It's not the right word, is it? You know, the plastic patio furniture, plastic table, garden table. What else? Okay, this time I brought the beer because he'd supplied previously. You have to be reciprocal. You have to reciprocate. It's that's just polite. So that was Wednesday night. Sat out there in the dark, drinking beer and eating jacket potatoes. It always takes a little longer than you think. When you do jacket potatoes in a proper oven, not a microwave, but a proper oven, from scratch, none of this boiling them first like Owen used to want me to do. Don't know if Owen's still out there. Give me a shout, Owen, if you're still there. But he recommended boiling them for 5 or 10 minutes first and then putting them in the oven. As a kid, we always just put them in the oven. And they would take, depending on the size of the potatoes and how many you put in, between an hour and an hour and a half. I do put a lot in here. I put about 8 or 9 out at once, and maybe 3 or 4 onions to bake. So it takes about 3 hours for mine to cook in total. But it's fun to just watch the flames, and even though they're inside before anybody starts, because I know some of you will. It's contained, but there's little slats in the barbecue. We can see in. You can see the glow inside, and tell when it's dying down. But over time, you get a good bed of embers going, a good bed of coals, and you don't need to be worrying about actual flame so much. Something primeval about fire. I don't know if it's just men and fire. I don't know if women have the same. I don't know. It feels more like a man thing, but that might just be a bias because I'm male. I don't know. Like to watch just the fact that there's a glowing fire in there. You don't even have to really see the flames just to know that there's a glowing. What do you call it? Fire is a process. Fire isn't a thing. Fire doesn't exist as an object. Burning, it's a process. This was why the old how'd it go? Earth, air, wind, and fire. The 4 elements was wrong. Just science. Let's not go there. That's not what we're here for, folks. That's not what we're here for. Tell me if you like my little asides. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dick. So, jacket potatoes, yeah. Okay, that took us into Wednesday night. Okay, so the morning started with me pigging out on all of the jacket potatoes and the onions that were left from the night before. That was my breakfast. I think I went out, we maybe quick walk of the dog and whatever, and then brought everything inside. I lay on the bed with a chopping board, not even a plate, chopping board, with all these potatoes and onions, and just got myself a full belly. We had a few cold nights in the week. I haven't really noted which ones were the cold ones, but we had a few nights that were down around 8 degrees on the weather app, and as I've said before, it can get a degree or 3 cooler here than it says on the app. I don't think these were much cooler than the app said. If the app said 8, then that would have been about the low point this past week. So yeah. Okay. I still had this meal that I'd promised to cook that I was going to do. So the intention. Let me tell you what the meal was, because grand aspirations for a tramp. I was going to cook. I was going to dice. I had pork cutlets, but I was going to dice them, trim the bone off the bottom end, and dice them. I was going to do pork in a pasta. I was going to have pasta sauce, a creamy pasta sauce with white wine. Oh, I'm missing an ingredient here, haven't I? I've missed something. White wine and mustard. Cream, white wine, and mustard was the base of the sauce. With the pork and peppers, onions, carrots, garlic, spicy peppers, pimento pecan. Yeah, that was the aspiration. But we kept getting stomped by strong winds, or some days just me not being in the mood. And it just got put off. Which is why it ended up happening on Saturday. Late in the week. But Thursday, it was suddenly out of nowhere. I'm going to say out of nowhere. It'd been in the forecast that we were going to have some winds. But suddenly the winds were going to be 35 and 40 kilometres an hour. And my recollection of previous times they've said 35 and 40 kilometres an hour was real batten down the hatches, your tent might blow away. Tina, will you bloody sit down? You're up and down like a yo-yo girl. Come on, sit down. Come here. Oh, you've been annoying. Come on, sit down here and stop. Sit. Come on. Sorry, I had to move the dog, had to move the light. Where are we? And we're back to having the full glare on the glasses, aren't we? Sorry, folks. I don't know what I can do about it. I've lost my place now. Where was I? The wind that came out of, it didn't come out of nowhere, but it was supposedly going to be really strong. And other times they've said that same strength has been a real trauma for the tent. Tina, lay down. Lay down. Love you, babe. I love you. Daddy loves his girl. If I keep telling myself that, maybe I can avoid getting angry. Okay. So again, I didn't cook right. The barbecue, when there's strong winds, the barbecue gets blown out. The flames just get. The gas keeps coming out, but the flame's gone, and you're just wasting gas and creating a bit of an explosion hazard. If you've got the top down, and the gas gets blown out, the flame gets blown out, but the gas is coming out. You just got a lot of gas building up inside the barbecue, inside the oven, inside the lid. Don't want that. So I tried to avoid cooking when it was too windy, and frankly, Thursday and Friday were just. I couldn't even think about cooking. Couldn't even think about it. Other than you might be able to stand there with a frying pan and do something for like 5 minutes because you stood there. But if you're going to put a stew on and let it cook for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're not going to stand there watching it, are you? So if it goes out, you might not notice. That would be dangerous. So there was none of that. But the upshot was that this food that I had that needed cooking just wasn't getting cooked. Tina girl, where are you going now? Up and down. Oh, I'm getting angry. Okay. So after all this wind, Thursday, and even though we'd had some sun, but we weren't getting to 4 lights on my battery bank. 4 lights is just, for now, I view this as some mythical aspiration that is just, it's like some nirvana. It's somewhere that we're just never, it's a promised land that we're just never going to get to. I keep trying, I keep checking. As the sun goes down or as night comes on, I keep looking in the battery box and hoping to see 4 lights on the charge controller. But I have seen 4 lights. I've said this in the past. I have seen 4 lights, but only when the sun's on the panels. Because we don't have a shunt on the battery, the charge controller can only read. It takes the highest value of either the battery or the power coming in off the solar panels. And if the solar panels are getting charge, it's going to read. It's going to read a full charge and show the 4 lights. That's just how it is. But at night, when there's no light on these solar panels, and so that you're just reading the battery. So there we go. That's where we're hoping for 4 lights. It's not happening. But then rain appears on the forecast. I say appears. It's been on the forecast. There'd been like a 20 or a 30% chance of 0.1 of a millimeter. Something and nothing. Like there's a video going to come out with this in the next few days. But basically, all day long they've been saying, hey, there's a minuscule chance of next to no rain. Oh, okay, no worries. You know, shrug your shoulders and move on. And then you get to night time, and suddenly, not so much. Where are we? It's Thursday night into Friday. It suddenly, it was like a 90% chance of 20 millimeters. Get me? We've gone from a 20 or 30 chance of point something of a millimeter, less than 1 millimeter, and no, you know, next to no chance. But over the course of a few hours, we end up at a 90% chance of 2 centimeters of rain in the next 2 hours, kind of thing. Forecasting is difficult, especially about the future. I don't know. It was raining. We had rain. We had. Let me see how well this shows. There we go. Okay. Well, that overshows. That shows too well. But up here, right at the crown of the tent. So my entire tent is split end to end, and now we've got a black tarp. You see the black line over there? That's the edge of the tarp. And that's the other edge of the tarp, and down the middle is split entirely. So we've got the tent split, we've got a tarpaulin over the top, and now we've got the tarpaulin itself with splits and holes and tears and pulls and rips. Now a little bit of rain forecast. If I see 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, I'm not going to panic. Anything up to 1 centimeter, we have survived. To a lesser or greater degree. There'll be leakage, there'll be puddles on the floor. Some of the clothes that are stored in bags over at the side to my left here, some of those will be wet and I'll need to take bags out and dry things. Maybe bedding on the mattress might get a little bit damp at the edges where the bed touches the side of the tent. Things happen, but we survive. But once I start seeing 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and then it gets more worrying. And for us to spend the whole day thinking, oh, it's going to be something and nothing, 20% chance of fractions of a millimeter, and suddenly we're facing 2 centimeters. That's annoying. That's annoying. It's like the forecast waited until it had rained for 3 hours to say, oh yeah, 100% chance of rain. Took it 3 hours to get to that point. I don't know. Yeah, it was very much a movable feast with how much rain was going to happen or not. We had some water ingress and leakage, and also, so I've got the dog in bed next to me. I've got the quilt over her, and I'm just trying to keep her dry and warm and That's my job. Keep us both safe and warm, dry, fed and watered. Pretty much to exist, to get by, to live. But she'll hear loud bangs, or like we saw before with the wind, anything moving, she doesn't like it. So she'll sit up. And when she sits up, because the tent leans inwards, she increases the height. She's got the quilt on her back. She's rubbing the quilt against the side of the tent and moving the quilt. She'll pull the quilt that way, and I'll wake up in the night and find that corner of the quilt is just like, I'm not going to say wringing wet, but it's not dry. Yeah. So by this behind me here, I don't know if I can show this. I've got a tarpaulin. Here's the side. Here's the side of the tent. Where are we? Here's the side of the tent, and here's the tarpaulin that comes up from the ground. So any water on the inside of the tent doesn't touch the mattress. It'll run down here or on the tarpaulin and to the floor. And I don't mind the water gathering on the floor. Similar at the side, same thing. Tent, tarpaulin. But my doggie, she likes to sleep with her back against the side of the tent. I can wake up in the night and find my dog's wet. And she's moving again. Don't know what's wrong with her tonight. I don't know what's wrong with her tonight. But yeah, this is Thursday night into Friday, and we did end up with a wet quilt in places because dog. So like I said, we had water coming in, but I wasn't too worried. I knew, the forecast was that it was going to get to a certain point in the morning and everything was going to stop, and then it was going to be a nice day. Have I mentioned weather forecasts? You should watch some of my videos. I know none of you do. Nobody does. Watch my weather forecast videos. So we move into Friday morning. Forecast is for rain for the next 3 hours, and then the rain's going to stop and go away. Yeah? You're with me? At some point, 3 hours later, no more rain for the day. Rain all gone. No more rain on the radar. It's gone. But it's going to be a bit windy. Still, it's going to carry on being windy. Okay. All fucking day. All day. You look at the weather app, it's going to rain for the next 3 or 4 hours, but then it's going to stop. All day. You get to 4 in the afternoon. Oh, it's going to rain just for the next 3 or 4 hours, then it's going to stop. And all the while, the volume of predicted rain that's still to come is going up. So you start off with a prediction of next to nothing in the next 3 hours, but then it's going away. Honest, it's going away. And by the end, you've got a prediction. Let me see. I don't think I've written I haven't got the value written down. No, I haven't. But basically, at one point, it was saying 3 centimeters of rain in the next 3 or 4 hours. You've gone all day. Rain for the next 3 hours, for the next 3 hours, for the next 3 hours. How? How does that happen? How does the forecast say for the next 3 hours rain and then nothing? And it just carries on raining for like 18 hours. Or on and off for 18 hours. I know. Making predictions is difficult, especially about the future. 2020 hindsight, looking back and all that, I know. And I'm sure weather forecasting is difficult. But it's not that difficult to assume that if it's raining now, there's a fair chance it's going to rain after. By the time you've moved this 3 hour window, it's not just moved, it's actually been raining and you've extended it 3 hours and extended it 3 hours. How much of a prediction is it to say that maybe we should just extend it for the next 6 hours, 8, 9 hours, whatever? I'm ranting. It's what I do, guys. It's what I do. So for the whole day, gloomy, miserable, all this rain crap and the wind. stayed in bed, well, stayed in the tent, which the only usable space in here. You saw me trying to get in through the door. I'm tripping over, how should I say this? I'm tripping over bags of food at the minute. I probably shouldn't say it, but I've got the stuff that I've bought myself. I've got the stuff that people bring me. I've got the stuff that Karen brought me. I got the stuff that was brought by Mark and Jeff, and then by this other Mark today. I need a gap. I need a break in things to take everything out, sort things through, and pack everything. And this was one of the things I was supposed to do this week. But it's been dull, miserable, overcast, windy, rainy. Even when it's not been rainy, it's been windy. Even when it's sunny, it was windy. It's not been the kind of day where I could empty out the tent with any confidence that I've got a whole day to sort things out before bringing it back in. So, yeah. So I've even written a note here. I'm being a bit sarcastic here. On Friday, I set up my solar panels in the morning, pointing towards where the sun would be. But I was having a laugh with myself just by setting them up. There was no way on earth that I was going to get any solar that day. You could just look at the sky and see it was hopeless. And I'd come out every 3 hours or 2 or 3 hours and move them around and keep them pointing roughly where the sun should be. But it was a forlorn hope. It was going nowhere. I was kidding no one, not even myself, with that one. That's why I said it's a little sarcastic note, but yeah, set up solar, dreaming, no chance. So that takes us through to kind of the end of Friday, and apart from the weather and everything that was going on still with all that, my favourite programme of the week on YouTube, Friday Night Tights. And this week they had a special guest, Superman. Kid you not. From the 90s, from the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, Dean Cain, on my favourite programme. That's not bad. Bit of a coup for them, because this is just a bunch of guys, like 9 or 10 nobodies sitting around chatting about film and TV and computer games and geekdom. Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, you know? Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. That's there. But suddenly they've got Hollywood actors kind of poking their nose in. Is that you whimpering? Am I going to have to take you out for a walkies? Is that you? Or someone else? I'm going to have to watch you. Where are we time-wise? An hour and a half, and we're on Friday night into Saturday. I might have to finish up quickly, guys. Even though it's still raining, I think this might be why she's up and down. She might have like an upset stomach or something. She might need to go. I don't know. She's whimpering. She doesn't normally whimper. So this takes us into Saturday, and the first thing I do Saturday morning, I push the button to refund someone who's tried to send me some money. And I don't do that lightly. I do not do that lightly. If someone's gone on PayPal and gone to the trouble trying to send me a noticeable amount of money, tried to send me £50, I think. It's come out as about €55. And I've had to say no and send it back. Because they didn't do the friends and family option. It's gone through as a business transaction, as a purchase of goods. And PayPal want me to provide a mail tracking number. And when I'm in the app, it changes languages to Spanish. I've got the app set to English, and I go through, all the screens are in English. And suddenly I go to somewhere complicated where I really need to know the nuance of what I'm looking at, what the different options are. Suddenly the fucking thing's in Spanish. Get that? Now, I can kind of generally sort of read Spanish. But on important things, legal things and money things, if you misinterpret one word in a sentence, you can totally reverse the meaning. So I don't want to be taking that chance. So I just had to push the button, and the only word I could really understand on the page, or the only one of the options I could fully understand and follow, was the refund. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. Someone sends me money, I want the money. Someone goes to the trouble of sending me money, I want their wishes to be fulfilled. I want their request to be honoured, to send the money. And as I said before, if they've sent an instruction, spend it on this, or under no circumstances spend it on that, I try and honour those. So to have to refund it, and then to find out afterwards that they've lost money on the refund because of currency conversions 2 ways, I'm not happy. So if any of you do ever, not just now, but if you ever do the PayPal thing to donate anything to me, please do look at the options while you're doing it, and look for that setting as to whether it's a commercial purchase, a service or a good, or whether it's a donation, a friends and family gifting kind of thing. Because that wasn't a good way to start my Saturday, and the lady and gent concerned are not 100% happy. But a little while later, on Saturday, my friends Mark and Jeff arrived, the guys who gave me the solar panels and so much other things, so much other help and support, brought me water and water purification tablets when I've needed them. They arrived and brought and took away some of my empty water bottles, and came back later that day, brought me 9 full bottles of water. I think 9. I'm guesstimating. But basically a car boot full of water bottles, 8-litre water bottles. So that's great. And also, they brought me another batch of water purification tablets. The reason behind this, they're leaving the country temporarily, and they won't be here for a while. They won't be able to help me. They won't be in a position to help me anymore for a little while. So they've left me with a good, I'm guessing, 4, maybe 5 weeks supply of water, plus water purification tablets for once the water is reactivated at the foot wash thing along the beach here. So that's nice. That's great. Like I said about the themes of the week: friendship and generosity. So Mark, I know Jeff doesn't watch; it's not his bag. But Mark, thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. And this was also where I saw that I'd had a donation from Brendan with the instruction, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the instruction was basically blow it on booze. So I did. I haven't yet. I spent some of it though. So thank you for that. Like I said, I have to honour my donors' requests. It's an instruction. I don't make the rules. Them's the rules. I don't make them. I know half of you think I'm a wino and a lush. That's all right. Millions of men and women fought and died to give you the right to be wrong. Okay. Yeah, Mike and Jeff and the water bottles, donations, okay. Okay, yeah, Mike. Well, yeah. I should have mentioned this. Mike and Jeff also brought a few food items over while because they were literally when they took the bottles away, filled them, and came back on the way to the airport. They were literally going there and then. So they brought a few things that were left from their cupboards. Tina, are you that bad, darling? She's literally whimpering, folks. I'm not going to be able to. Let me just read up on my notes here. I might have to just wing the rest. I'll take you with me while I walk her, shall I? I don't know whether I can take the notes or not. I'm going to have to take her, folks, and I don't want to cut the stream short. Otherwise, we'll end up doing a catch-up stream tomorrow to finish the week off. Are you all right with me walking? I'll walk the doggy. I try not to show you anything too delicate. Let's go. Hold on. You're a nuisance, Tina girl. Oh, but I love you. Biscuits. Okay, I thought those were poo bags. Oh, where's my shoes, Tina? Where's my head torch? Let me get my torch. Okay, there's my feet. Oh, sorry folks, there I am. Oh, we are open there. Let me turn that off. Oh, bugger. Well, this is different, isn't it? This is going to be different. At least the rain has stopped momentarily. So there's that. There's that. Come here, buggerlugs. No, you were whimpering. You weren't whimpering for water. What were you whimpering for? Oh. I don't know, guys. Calamitous kind of bullshit. Look at this. I'm walking now. I've got my notes and my thing. I've got dog. I got my dog strung around my arm. I don't know if you can see that. No. I got her tied around my wrist. All because she's whimpering, and I think she needs some kind of toileting. While she's whimpering for something, and she doesn't normally, so I don't know. Where was I? Go on, babe. Do what you need to do. I'll protect your modesty. Okay, Mark and Jeff brought some food items that were left over. Okay. And then Saturday afternoon, Tina girl. Oi! Buggerlugs. Can't be that desperate, can it? And then Saturday afternoon, I did a cookery video. Like I said, this was the pasta in a creamy white wine and mustard sauce with the pork, and I almost put some chorizo in. Tramp. Pina girl, you're pulling my arm for no reason. What are we here for? Why are we here? I'm getting a little bit angry with you. Yeah, chorizo, but I decided not to go with the chorizo. I kept that for my sandwiches at night. I'm going to swap arms with the dog. Oi! Oh, bugger! I don't know what we're here for. I don't know why I'm walking the dog suddenly. Can't have been that desperate, can it? What was the whimpering? I'll try again. Cookery video, chorizo, didn't put the chorizo in. Kept it for myself, for sandwiches, midnight snack, baguettes with mustard and chorizo. And cheese and onion as an alternate. One half of the baguette goes on chorizo, one half goes on cheese and onion. Nice raw, big proper yellow onions. Or green, yeah, yellow. Green onions is what the Americans call spring onions, I think. I have to be careful with my language with an international audience. I've got no idea what this dog... Let me show you her. She's not doing anything. She's not doing anything, so there's no... Oh, now she's shaping up like she might. Tina girl, why are we here? You've made me come out of the tent. You're pacing back and forwards, but you're not doing... We got any dog owners out there? Do you want one? Because I'm sick of mine today. Oi! We're going back inside if you don't need anything. If we're not here for any reason. Home. Homeless guy. Home. What's next? I cooked a video. I made a cookery video. I didn't cook a video. That would be silly. Saturday continued. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the food I did cook. Okay. Wasn't quite perfect. I said earlier in the week that I'd been promising to cook this this pork and some of the other ingredients that I'd had a while. And I'd been putting it off since like Wednesday because weather and just my mood and wind and, you know. And you can imagine, I'm in a tent. There's no refrigerator. So my meat was getting a little bit... It was getting a little bit on the verge by the time we got there, by the time we cooked it. Now I would describe it as a little bit gamey. It was a little bit flavourful. Another person that I gave some to described it as off. I don't know. I don't think it was off. Tina was happy to eat some of it raw. I ate the food once it was cooked. The other guy ate the food once it was cooked. Neither of us have had... He said he had gas after. I haven't had any problems. But it was particularly flavoursome. Tina, I'm getting angry now. Come on, let's go back. Back to the tent. Or at least back to the camp. Sorry folks, I think this was Tina just being stroppy. It's not like we got out of the camp and she immediately dropped her guts or needed a big pee or anything. She's whimpering for no reason. So yeah, the food. So when you do watch this video, probably I'll probably release the weather video, the Friday, was it Thursday night into Friday? The weather video will come first, probably, and then we'll do the food video. So somewhere between Monday and Wednesday, those two videos will come out. But when you see, you'll see that I do admit that the meat was, you know, a little bit gamey, but also holding a camera in one hand and trying to put pasta in with the other didn't exactly go smoothly. Instead of putting about like a quarter or a third of the pack of pasta into the sauce once it was all done, I accidentally dropped about half the pack of pasta in, which meant that the whole thing ended up a lot thicker, a lot stodgier than I would normally aim for. But as I comment in the video, in Britain we would tend to go with less pasta, more sauce. You tend to have it as a looser mix. But in other countries, Mediterranean countries, Spain, Italy, etc., they would tend to go with a more dense mix, a more stodgy, more pasta, less sauce. So that might just be kind of on brand for a guy living in Spain. I'm going to spin it that way, as if it was kind of a deliberate choice. It wasn't. You see in the video, I'm holding the camera in my left hand and I'm pouring the pasta from my right, and it suddenly just like half the bag just drops out into the pan. Yeah, not ideal. Wasn't ideal. What else we got here? Okay. So that evening we were, I was talking with my new neighbour, the new guy in the camp, and I said there's a 10% chance of something and nothing rain. And again, we do this thing where suddenly it changes. Suddenly there's going to be 3 hours of rain and it's going to be 3 centimetres. Guess how much fell? 0. Yeah, we went from fractions of a millimetre to 2 centimetres, and nothing happened. But it was bloody windy all through the night. And I said, last night, Saturday night, this is when the guy pointed out the damage to the tent. Come here, Tina. Come here a minute. I showed you this from a distance before, but here's it up close and personal. This rip here, all the way along and down, and all the way down there. That's new. There was a little bit here. Look, you can see that there's been a little bit of something in this area before, but that's just orders of magnitude worse than it was. And it's been windy all day, so I haven't been able to get to repair it. And now it's raining again, so I'm going to take care of that in the morning. I mean, it's already edged up to seams on both sides, so there's no way for it to go. Shush, Tina, quiet, babe, quiet. So yeah, that's Saturday night into what else we got? Oh, it's my first Saturday night without a Big Clive live. Those of you that have followed me for a while know that I always talk about that there's kind of half a dozen YouTube shows that I watch kind of religiously. There's a whole bunch that I aim to watch, and I either catch them or I don't. I might download them after the event. But there's half a dozen that I aim to catch live and watch. But last week, Big Clive announced that he wasn't first he announced he wasn't doing any more of his Saturday night live streams, and then he found a way to rework things, so he's going to do them on alternate Saturdays. And this was the first of his off weeks, the first of the week where he didn't do the big public live stream. He would have done one for his private, for his Patreon followers, Patreon subscribers. So no Big Clive this week, which put a bit of a dent in my Saturday night. I have to be honest. I was kind of looking around a little lost and lonely what to do, so I I chatted with friends online. Oh God, what else Saturday night? Okay, Scruff Dog. After Big Clive, I watched a bloke called Scruff Dog. Scruff with a single F. But I was kind of distracted and didn't... I was there and I was dipping in and out of that for once. And normally I'm active in the chat, but I wasn't. I dipped in and out. And then I reached that point where you're so tired and you're fighting against it, but I couldn't fight anymore, and I just gave in and went to sleep. And my intention was to wake up somewhere between 4 and 5, because there's another program, an American program that I watch called Flashcast, which is where I got the name of this TrampCast. It's basically Flashcast with replacing Flash with Tramp, because I'm a homeless tramp. So that program gave me this name. But I slept right through. I woke up somewhere around... I'd set an alarm the night before because my friend Karen was going to the airport this morning and was going to stop by and bring some water and food and bits and pieces. She bought me a chopping board, which is more of a tray. I might use that as a tray in bed when I'm doing midnight, when I'm having midnight baguette and chorizo parties. World's best for tramp, possibly, maybe. I get looked after by some of you guys. I do get looked after, and I appreciate every bit of help I get. I don't want to make light of it. I am in a hole. It's not ideal, is it? You've seen the state of the tent. It's not ideal. I make light of it. I joke a little bit, and some people then think that that I've got an easy life and that other people are running around just looking after me. I mean, there are elements of that. Not too easy a life, but there are people running around looking after me. and I appreciate everyone who does every little bit to help. Whether it's sending money, whether it's coming here in person, whether it's just coming chatting, the people who come past and wave and say hello. I appreciate any bit of human interaction, any help. It's all to the good. So yeah, and that's Saturday night into Sunday morning, isn't it? I was waiting on Karen coming around, and I've had a surprisingly eventful day. What with Karen coming first thing and dropping off the things that she'd said, I'm going to do a video of what she brought me, because there was bags full of 2 bags full of water, two bags full of bottles of water, but a bag full of food, and I like to do my little thank you videos showing what people give. And this is all, a lot of it is opened. It's not, we're not talking about shopping specifically for me. This is, here's what we had in the cupboard because we're leaving the country. There's half a pack of cheese, and there's, some crab sticks, and but they're open. They're half used. I just want to show that because I think some people get the idea that they don't want to bring things if it's not like brand new, if it's not unopened, if it's not whole. And no, I mean, I'm in a position where I'm literally, beggars can't be choosers. Literally. Appreciate anything. If you've got a carrier bag full of odds and ends from in your cupboards, and you're leaving the country, and you're here or hereabouts, then find someone to give it to. It doesn't have to be me. I appreciate it if it is. But, there are other guys out there, other people out there. If you can't find anybody, put it by the bin, next to the bin, not in the bin. Leave it in an open bag, obvious to people that it's there to be taken, that there's something there. It's appreciated by whoever gets it, whichever one of us gets it. Yeah. So anyway, Karen stopped by this morning, that happened. And I mentioned, yeah, my mate over here bought a power bank the other day. Tina, don't stand on the lead like that. Oh, dog. Ouch. Bought a power bank from the Chinese bazaar. And he had it in the sun, and it was saying it was fully charged, allegedly. He got into his tent, and when he looked at it next, it was on 2 lights. He connected it to his phone, and after about 10 seconds, it was discharged. Chinesium. That's not good, is it? He's only just bought that with like some of the last of his money to try and get by, to try and get through. So that happened. And then I said about this other guy, a new guy, a guy I've had no contact with before, Mark, who came to the camp here and introduced himself and brought a bag of oranges and, what was it, oranges, bananas and tomatoes. So that's going to be nice to get through. And there was a good bit, like I said, kilogram and a half, maybe 2 kilos. I'm no good at judging kilos by weight, by hand. I judge a pound of fruit by size, by sight. Back in the day, like a pound of apples. Back in the, But I'm in another country, a different unit of measure, and it's a mixed bag of different things as well. Makes it a little bit more difficult. But there's a good weight there. There's a good few there. Like 3 bananas and 8 or so oranges and 3 or 4 tomatoes. So add that up. I've no idea. I'm going to go with 1.5 kilos. But thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. He came down. We had a chat for half an hour, maybe a little bit more. And yeah, appreciate that. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. So that was kind of the last event really before prepping for TrampCast. I sat down late and yeah, started to put this together. It took me longer than it should, and I went off and I kept going down kind of rabbit holes, like about the 21 gun salute and all of that, trying to find answers to, yeah, but why 21, you know? Not just, yes, that's what it is, but why? I was going to get an answer. It's okay finding out that something is how it is, but I want to know why. Why did they choose that? What was the symbolism behind it, or the reasoning behind it? Got to get an answer, folks. So that's the end of the week that has been, the week that was. That's what I used to call this show before it was live. It's now called TrampCast, but I used to do a pre-recorded one detailing the events, and I called it "That Was the Week That Was." Eventually, I would have got in trouble for that because of the 60s show. But so I changed the name anyway, preemptively, before I got into trouble. So the upcoming week, that's the next thing we cover. The upcoming week, I haven't really, again, guys. I've got the things that are carrying over, the things that didn't get done. Emptying everything out of the tent, reorganising it, putting it back. If I actually get that done, I'll do a kind of a guided tour of the inside of the tent, maybe, if it's not too embarrassing. At the minute, I couldn't possibly show you because it's just clutter and not great. But so yeah, it's just the things that I said I'd got. Plus, I've got to do some tent repairs. If you've just seen, that's not the only. That's the worst of the new injuries to the tent. But I got others that need dealing with. I got the videos to get released that I've discussed, that I've got kind of queued up, and then we've just got to handle the weather that's upcoming. So far, nothing too bad. Monday's going to be mixed. Tuesday's going to be sunny and clear. Wednesday's going to be total cloud, and Thursday to Saturday mixed again. So managing my power and making a way through, trying to keep the phone charged, keep in touch with the world, surviving, coping, keeping going, because what's the alternative? Okay, guys. I'm hoping there's been more questions. I'm hoping that tomorrow when I watch this back, that there's been more chat than I'm seeing, and it's just not happening for me here. That's typically the way. Okay, folks, I'm going to let you go. We've gone over 2 hours. So, as is the tradition with the channel, let's see if we can do this right. Oh, you can't see her. Can you see her? I can't. Somewhere in there, you can just about see the orange collar, just to the left of the green bag. Hey, Tina. So from Tina, and from me, Delta Mike, out.